Hey,
Hey, Han.
hey Mar.
Looking
What's
beautiful
up?
today.
You too. I like your sweater,
Oh my God, I'm
especially
going to
this
move
little
here. I have my mess.
detail around your neck. It's very
Yes,
festive, very Christmassy,
yes, I'm
very,
trying.
very Christmassy. You're trying. Do you have your tree up?
I have look at the mess behind me. I do have a cookie tree
You're,
there.
you're talking about the mess. I used a different look at this mess. Okay. Well, now it's not that bad. I have, but it's all work in progress. So, do you
That's,
have the tree up?
well, not yet, but you see there, my finger at the end there's a cookie tree right there. You see it?
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. Sorry, we're still chatting. We didn't forget this is the live. Thanks for joining us today. And we're gonna jump into some fun cookie projects for you guys that we prepared for you. And Mar, what are you doing today?
Here is today's project. I thought
Okay.
I'd work with
Well,
some,
these are totally necessary in
yes,
Canada, right? By the way, do you prefer mittens or
I
what are the
prefer mittens, but when it comes to knit products, as soon as it gets quite cold, they're not adequate. They're not warm enough. And you
no?
have
So,
to
so
go,
what do you use?
well, you have to get like those ski gloves, like the really,
Yes, yes. But the what I meant mittens is it's just one. It's a pouch
yes.
with a place for your thumb.
And then I'll take my thumb out of the thumb and bring it into my fingers and wear my mittens like this.
Yeah. Do you ever use the hand warmers
The hot pot pouches there?
or whatever it's called? Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Does it work?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, those are great.
Yeah.
And now they've actually come out with electric coats and electric
Well,
socks.
I don't know. I don't want. I would be kind of a little concerned getting burned. What do you guys think? Do you guys use any kind of heated stuff to keep you warm in this cold weather? If you are in a cold weather, if you are in Australia, you're enjoying the heat of summer, I'm sure.
Yeah. Another trick I do is I don't go outside.
Well, that's not. That's also not very cool. So you just look at the. You did send me a beautiful sunset. Was it a sunrise or sunset?
It was actually sunrise because,
Sunset. It's beautiful. It looked like sunset. It was very, very, very beautiful.
well, I'm up at the crack of dawn, as you know, and so yeah, I
Yes, I
thought
know. Yes, I know. It was beautiful.
I'm
All
going.
right, so let's jump in. So let me bring you Mars hands. Okay, there. Oh,
Oh, I didn't turn on my camera. So today, I did look to find another kind of like seller for the cutters that I'm using. So I'll just show them I did a screenshot off of the site. So they are from AliExpress and they have like a fondant sets that I've used in the past. And the cutter comes with a embossing plate. And then I looked for similar things, but there wasn't a ton available of size, like proportionate hat to mitten sizes. Like the
oh, I
mittens,
see what you mean. Yes, that it's yes, mitten is definitely not bigger than a head. Yes.
exactly. And so that's what I liked about this particular set. I thought that they looked, you know what I mean, like
Somewhat
more
more.
in the ballpark. So
Mhm.
I do have, I'm not using them, but I did get the plaques, for the set. But you can buy the cutters alone. And here you can see
And
there.
you did a tutorial on this a few whiles ago, no? Using
I did a
similar
Christmas more version. And
some
it is
different
on
kind of
YouTube.
part. It's
It's
on
on,
YouTube?
yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I just wanted to show them. And so these are the cutters that I'm using today. I thought they were cute. And I do like the squareness of this mitten.
Mm-hmm.
See, like that.
Why?
So there. And so
Why do you like that shape? Why do you like the square?
well, I thought it looked more kind of, see, the mittens are a little bit like more of a cuff. It looked a kind of, I want to say like Nordic mittens. If you've ever seen their mittens, they're like, it's like a thick, it's like felted mittens. I thought it looked more
Okay.
real, I want to say. Like we do a lot of cookies, like cutesy. This is more, I want to say, like I did a design that's more on the masculine side. I find that a lot of the stuff that I do anyways, pink and girly.
Yes.
And,
Me as well. Me as well. This is
and
a
we
nice
all have men
color.
in our lives. So if you want to
Who
give,
get cold, right?
Well, I mean, for the holidays, birthdays, or different things, if you want to make some,
I also like that they are not huge, these cookies. That this is
yes,
like a nice
2 bites,
size.
two,
Yeah,
3 bites.
it's not like,
Yeah. And the other thing is I wanted to
cookie.
replicate the ribbing that we see on the edge of the hat.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see here, I didn't put a sprinkle in here, I did. But anyway, we're going to make these. So first thing, you want to pick your colors, and you want all the colors to be the same consistency. When you're working on wet, that's one of the key components to a successful experience, is a similar consistency, and also an icing that is not overly runny. Watery icing tends to really dry flat on the cookie.
Mm-hmm.
Like here, if you look, I tilt it, you can see there's like a dimension, it's like a
Yeah,
level of
it's nice
thing.
and puffy. So
Yeah.
how do you go about preparing the icing? When you do the several colors, do you fin it and then color, or do you color each little portion and then fin it?
I think that would be the easiest way, especially for a beginner, is to thin it out and then portion it out to color it. I've been doing it for so long now that I can kind of, skip and be a little bit more risque. But if you're a
Okay.
beginner and you want to be sure,
Yes. But I find that sometimes, that with the food color, I mean, recently when I add gel to my finned icing, that it will actually thicken up a little. So then I have to actually
yeah,
water it down a little bit.
yeah.
Just if anyone had that experience, keep that
I
in
mean, if
mind.
there's a slight variation, it's okay. It's like a question of like, when it's watery and then the other one is flood consistency, it
Yes.
creates like a hole almost in the
And
ice.
also it can kind of fall off the cookie. Like that's another problem. Yes.
Yes. So another thing is you need something to move the icing around. So you could use a toothpick. That's perfectly fine. These here are called needle tools or scribes. And this one here is smaller, and it's difficult to see in the video, but this one is almost like a sewing needle. And this one is just a little bit fatter. And so the smaller the needle, the less icing it displaces. And sometimes you want a big thing, you want to kind of like level your icing and move it, but sometimes you just want a very fine line, like in this case. So I'm using my very fine scribe for this project, because if you're like, especially here, if you see the hat, there's a lot of pull. So if you're displacing a lot of icing, you're not going to get this level of intricate kind of
detail. Yes.
all right. And so my thick icing is this nice kind of taupish brown. So I'm kind of breaking the cookie up so that it's in, but anyway, I don't know if it's necessary. Once I did the wet on wet, you couldn't even tell there was multiple base colors, but for the sake of the video, we'll do it. So
Wow,
here
the yellow, it's so bright. It's like
it
neon.
is. It is. I
It
use,
looks like me. Seriously, it's so bright.
it's like fluorescent. So, we get the markers, and there's a lot of colors in the markers that we don't use a lot, and yellow is one of them. So I usually will use it to do my guidelines on my stuff, because it's one of these colors that hides well behind icing.
Yes.
And so I'm starting off here with my brown icing. It even matches my cutting board in the back.
Is this straight from a bottle brown, like a warm
Yes.
brown?
Yes,
It
warm
looks
brown.
like warm brown, yes.
So this here, when I'm making stuff like this, I don't do super straight lines. If you can see there, I've got a slight curve. I want to try to, emphasize the fact that this is a round thing. It's not a box. So you can see there that slight curve. It just helps for the realism. And now I've got my next color. This is the taupe. And so the cuff on the hat and on the mittens, I've got it in two consistencies. So this is the flood version of it. I'm connecting to that initial brown, and I'm just now going to fill the whole rest of the cookie. I did drop a line there in the brown. And so we're just now, after I'm done this, we're just going to add a bunch of stripes across the hat.
Again, thanks for joining us, everyone. This is, we forgot to say, this is a pre-recorded live. We're just trying to take it a little easy this holiday season so we can spend some time with our families. And we didn't want to skip doing the live. So we are pre-recording this for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. We will try to be in the comments if possible to answer any questions, but we don't know if we'll have time, right?
Well, if we're not live, we will look back and answer your questions.
Yes, that is true. Yes, that is absolutely true. Yes.
So now again, I'm adding the stripes. I've got an ivory, a white, and I'm just again following the curve. You see, I'm doing this very slight roundness, and I'm just random.
I love wet on wet. It's like the favorite technique because it gives such great results.
It really does. And the recipients are always, how did you do that?
Yeah.
So now on either side here, I'm just pulling up so that the ends, which tend to have like a bit of a dot, kind of get healed, okay? So then I'm going in the center and I'm pulling up and I'm wiping my needle after I pull so that there's no remnants of icing.
Yes.
And then here, so you can just do the pull up and then leave it, but I do like to do a pull down in the middle of these up. So now I'm pulling towards the pom-pom, and then I'm going to pull down.
And that's you creating basically chevron pattern, right?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like a zigzag.
And so you wipe your needle, because you see here when I finish, I'm in the darkest icing, and then up here I'm in the white. And so if I don't wipe the needle, I'm going to end up with a brown dot in my white. All right, so now I've got it all done. And the trick to healing is just to shake. You can't really come in with this particular technique and do a bunch of swirling with your needle to heal it, because you're going to completely mess up the design. So it's shaking it, and then you get the self-leveling that occurs. You can see it. It's all level.
This is going to look great on a sweater, on an ornament, on
yes. Christmas tree. I did a Christmas tree
yes.
last year. It turned out very nice, if I say so myself. So here again, I'm leaving a pretty big cuff. Even though it's a small cookie, I'm leaving a pretty big cuff. And I'm actually splitting up the design here with the thumb. I'm doing the thumb. If you look here, and if you look at actually knitted mittens, often the thumb is kind of simple. They're not doing the pattern.
Because it sounds they usually don't do a pattern. Yes,
exactly.
It's usually one solid color. Yes.
And so if you just do it all, it kind of loses. It looks like a big, like it doesn't look like a mitten. So if you do the thumb a different color, it just helps with regards to that, you know, so that it looks a little bit more like an actual mitten. So now I'm going to do the taupe here at the top part of the mitten, just because the taupe is at the cuff.
And the taupe is straight from a bottle. It's Emery color brand.
No, this is some of the powder that I have from Drip Color. There. All right. And like I'm going like fast, but I'm not like rushing and, you know, stressed. Of course, your climate plays a part in it. Like if you have super dry climate, well, this is going to be a tougher thing to do in your neck of the woods.
Yes. Because once it starts crusting, then it's very difficult to achieve that look.
Yes. So now
you'll see the drags through the icing, but you can avoid working by the heater. Don't have the fan running close by. You can add some white food coloring. It also has some additives in it that helps delay crusting. And now you're using ivory. This is ivory.
Yeah.
I love ivory. It's one of my favorite colors too. Like I never thought that I would use it so much, but once I started, I kind of use it a lot. I add it to so many different colors also to get the color I want.
Well, I like the white too in this particular design. I found that it like kind of brightened it up a little.
It brightens it up, definitely, yes.
So just a random. So I don't even know if I need the two colors at the base, because once I do all the stripes, you can't even tell anymore. So now I'm just pulling on either sides, like I said before, just to kind of like heal up, if you will, those dots that when you pipe and you end, you inevitably create, like you get
You know
these.
what? I would eat these.
Eh?
I would eat these. I rarely eat sugar cookies because over the years I've eaten so many that it's like I've eaten lifetime worth sugar cookies. But I would eat these. They look delicious.
They baked very well. I used the perforated mat, and I'll show you guys the back. If you've never used a perforated mat, put it on your Christmas list.
Yes. We also, both of us have, I don't know if you guys know, we have coffee shops. Do you have supplies for this project in your coffee shop?
I will add it. I will put it, yes, but because they're from AliExpress, I don't think you'd be able to get this in time for Christmas.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
And there it
Beautiful.
is.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to do the other one. So ideally, you'd wait before doing the thumb.
I do like that you are leaving the bottom solid, that it's not all wet on wet. I like that a lot.
Well, it's to kind of bring out the cuff part that I'm doing, like it's this different color, I wanted it to have a separation more. Anyway, you see it when it's we'll see in a second, I guess.
What are you guys working on? Do you have any Christmas projects you're working on? Maybe gingerbread houses, or you have orders?
Tell us all about it.
Tell us all about it. Yes. I love decorating for Christmas. It's one of my favorite seasons. I mean, Halloween is as well, but Christmas just has a special kind of.
Well, yes.
Right.
This I was making reindeer cookies actually with obviously brown. And then I was trying to think of what colors I would use for these mittens. And then I was like, well, I would normally never prepare brown icing to do this for whatever.
It's not the most common, yes. But like we see, but I completely agree. All the cookies we see, it's very feminine and girly and cute. There's very few that are more masculine.
And I liked them. They turned out better than I anticipated.
No, they're great. I like them as well.
And so, I don't know if you guys can see those dots that are formed at the ends. When I start, you get these inevitable little kind of blobby beginnings and ends. And so that pull really helps to clean that up and to hide it, if you will. And now over here, I'm pulling.
They don't have this scribe. This is a PME scribe. Now, PME scribe, they have two sizes, I think. The one you have, it's a fine tip, it's really needle, very sharp. Always be careful when you're working with these. And then I also have a thicker needle.
The thicker version?
Yeah, thicker version. I have both, but I don't know where they are. I have so many. So what else would you, the toothpick would work as well if they don't have any of these tools?
Well, you could also go in your sewing, if you have a sewing box.
Oh, yeah.
And you could actually use a needle. Obviously, be careful you don't leave it in the food, but you disinfect it.
Yes, that reminds me, years ago for my niece, I did felt bears. I don't know, you probably remember. Do you remember?
Yes.
I did 20 felt bears, and imagine I decorated the outside with the stitching and everything, and then I shipped it, and I left the needle in one of the bears, and the father. Thank God he I had.
Really?
Yes.
You didn't tell me that.
I had nightmares after that. I'm like, I can't imagine that. She was still a baby. Imagine if she touched it.
But you left the needle where, Han?
In the bear. In the bear.
In the bear.
In the bear somehow. I don't know. I don't know how that happened. But when I was doing some decorative stitching or eyes or whatever, I guess it's so easy because it has the what's it called, the stuff that you stuff it with, the white.
The foam there, the
foam, the filler. Yes.
Oh my God!
Yes. Anyway, it reminded when you said the needle, it popped in my head. But nothing happened, so everybody's fine. She's 10 now.
Well, if you work with polymer clay, And you could create a handle for it, you know, and then bake it if you were to use a needle.
Yeah,
That's one
true.
thing you could do.
That's true. I have so many different needles, but I do like the one you're using because it is such a fine tip.
So ideally, you're waiting for these to dry before adding the cuffs, or else it'll kind of all like just melt together.
Yes.
So now I've got a thicker icing, but the same color, and I'm adding the ribbing to the cuff. So here it's a big one. This is like a 5, and it's just, look, I'm just doing back and forth, nothing very,
it's like a little snake.
Yeah, but it creates a very realistic effect. And then if optional, you can add a little sprinkle to, do I not have my tweezers?
Tweezers are something that always get misplaced. No, they get misplaced.
I'm going to take a second to get them because I don't want to.
Okay, so she's taking a second to take the tweezers. How is everyone, guys? Is it cold where you are? Where are you? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, because you do your cookie, it's beautiful, and then you stick your hand in it. So now I'm just putting a little white sprinkle. It just adds a little detail. You don't have to.
Nice. It's a nice embellishment. I like it.
And you could do a star. You could look through.
I wonder what you could do to make it make the things more masculine. Like you would. What else could you add to make it more masculine?
An M&M.
A beer can. Oh yeah, well you could definitely play on you could do sports, right? You could do sports mittens.
Oh yeah, you could do
sports mittens. I did the sports mittens. What else?
Because if you look up the sports mitten sets, all the teams sell them. They're fundraising things. And so that would be an easy one actually to do.
You could do a football, which would be good for the season. Baseball as well. So I do like.
So I don't think many men's hats would have a thing like that, but it is a cookie after all. No one's going to be actually wearing that, and I do find it makes it.
No, I think it adds it's a nice detail.
And so now I've got a number 19 piping star. 19. And I'm doing the pom-pom. Now I
don't even have 19. I have 18 and then 21. Where is it? PME?
AliExpress.
AliExpress, okay.
And so it's just a swirl. So I'm just going to do a swirl here. It's the stiff icing.
Is this as thick as the ribbing?
It's the same icing. I just switched out the tip.
You just switched out the tip, okay.
And so there it is.
In order to switch out the tip, you have to have a coupler, right? Did you have a coupler?
Yes, to be able to switch it out, you need
a coupler to switch out the tip, which is always great.
So you see it's a screw. You just screw it off. And when you're working with thick icing, you need a thicker piping bag.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so it doesn't burst. So then you can easily use different piping tips.
And ideally, what I do, you can have a glass with a wet paper towel in the bottom so that when it rests in it, it doesn't dry out. So and then your piping bag, you can have it like in the cup like that, and it keeps it from drying out, because once the piping tip starts drying out, well, then you have to go and wash it because the spikes no longer are defined. You're going to get a really not nice finished product.
Yes.
So there are the little hat mittens. So if you're not,
and would you package these together?
I think so. You could, what you could add to this? A snowflake. So
snowflake would break up the, like, if it's like white. Yes, that would totally break up the like brown a little bit.
Yeah, and you could do like maybe a baby blue. Blue looks nice actually with brown.
Yes.
That would be beautiful. And you could, if you were to do that, add a small blue line in the brown. Like just to tie the two together,
Yes.
It's kind of like getting dressed, designing cookies, like, oh, well, if I wear this necklace and I would wear, you say, okay, well, this cookie's going to have a bit of this color. So you just kind of.
So what color are your socks to match with the sweater?
And the other thing.
Are you wearing sweatpants?
I've got jeans on.
Me too, me too. But like in the beginning of the pandemic, I think everybody was,
Yes.
sweatpants and decent upstairs, Yeah.
But another option is to have cookies that don't have icing. So you could have a little,
Oh
a
yeah.
little.
Even a chocolate cookie is very nice. Chocolate cookie shows nicely with white or pale colored icing, and you don't have to ice it all.
So yeah, this or again, like I haven't seen a small coffee cup. That would be another cute one to put with that.
Coffee cup would be cute. Yes. Snowflake.
But
What
yeah, so
else?
there's my set matching my cutting board. So
Beautiful.
that's it. Hen, you're up.
I'm up.
You're up.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to do my best. All right. So let's see if we can.
So before Hen starts, give us your feedback, guys, because we really want to know with regards to these pre-recorded live streams. We're just preparing for, like, now it's actually still November, if we're, full disclosure.
Really honest, yes.
But we're trying to prepare for you guys for the holidays. Han wants to travel to her families and stuff, but we still want to be consistent with our content. So let
So
us.
we will continue doing
I know that
live
you guys like
slides,
to interact and write
right?
stuff.
We love interacting with you. So, but we will do the regular lives still. It's not like we are skipping. All right.
And I can't hear you.
What?
Is it just me? Hold on, let me check.
Hello.
It must be me.
1, 2, 3. Of course, it's you. 1,
Yes.
2, 3. Check. Sound check. Can you hear me?
Again. Was
Okay.
me. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So today, actually, I'm going back to 2011, guys. 2011.
Oh.
That was a lovely time.
Before pandemic, before we had to worry about dying.
That's the time when I first made my Eiffel Tower, and it went kind of viral. Everybody was, loving it and making it. I had so many orders for it because it was just something different. So today I'm going to do a upgraded version, something a little more sturdier, because you can see it's very.
So pause 1 second. I want to hear more. So you created this at a time where you were taking orders.
Yes. So I actually had to make this, like, I don't know, for one family, I had to make 20 of them. She put them together. She glued them. I gave her instructions because you can't mail it. How am I going to mail the?
Oh, she ordered them to mail them. Okay.
Yeah. So she ordered it and she assembled it and she had it at the table, which was really beautiful with the candles and all. Yes. Nowadays, I don't know, like, you can really go wild with the candles, but they also make the. Oh, I thought I brought it. The LED candles.
Yes, the little LED ones.
Well, LED ones?
Yeah.
Oh, I have it, but it's not here. Anyway, so in my coffee shop, for those of you, I don't know, I guess there is an Eiffel Tower cookie cutter, but I don't own one. So I actually created a template for the Eiffel Tower, and you can resize it. Now here are different sizes. Now this is the size that I'll be working with today, and this is a larger version. So if you want to, what you could also do, I don't know, do you think it is possible that you make a slit here and you kind of create a 3D, like standing up, but anyway, so it's there for you guys in the coffee shop if you want to check it out. Now I'm also going to bring up some of my other pieces that I've prepared. I'll be decorating now.
So I'm going to call you out. Be honest. Is it supposed to be those ends? Did you forget it in Yevon?
Do you think it's too bad? It's bad, huh?
Well, they're your centerpieces, so you just make
it's excellent. It's excellent. No, they are not supposed to be that brown, but I did forget them in the oven. Look, this one
happens to everybody.
This one is not that bad, but what doesn't really matter in this design, this is going to get all covered with icing, so I figure this will be fine. And this is going to be another centerpiece that was very popular at the time when I made it. here it is. So I'm going to recreate this with maybe a little bit of a different twist. I'll see how far I will get. But this was very popular, and it is very easy to make, I have to say. It's not too complicated. Another one that I made a lot of them, is a tree centerpiece. These little snowflakes that you see here, they are made with a plunge set that is designed for fondant. I don't know where they are.
They bake very well, eh? Look at that.
I'm sorry?
They baked very well.
They are amazing. Like they really are beautiful. They're just a little pain to cut out because you have to actually kind of like wrap this. Oops. Now let me take this out. You have to the plunge cutter. You have to kind of rub it against the work surface, and then you can remove it. So I'm not going to be using those today because many of you probably don't have them. So we'll use smaller snowflakes that are easily sourced out. And I also made this one. Also, I use the snowflakes everywhere. They're just beautiful, and you don't even have to decorate them. They are called plunge snowflake cutters, right? I think
it's plunger.
Or plunger. Okay. Now I also have another set, and this one, it's going to be a new set. And this is, I got a nice cutter here locally. This is a nice size cutter. And I'm going to be using, this is holy leaf, and I created a Frankie cookie here. And I'm going to be using 3 different shapes of trees. And this will be a little scene with the trees. So I'll put the largest tree in the back, and then
create a bit of dimension.
Yeah, something like that. And if you can also, like I said, put a little candle. Now this didn't really bake well, but you could set it up like that so it drips on here. Now, like I said, if you can, get the LED ones. Although, there's nothing wrong having a real candle. And just make sure that you are there when it's burning. You don't want to.
Oh, also, it's if you have kids and stuff around, probably
These are also, the tea candles are also great. You could use those.
Yes.
You could use those. I have actually a couple tutorials where I baked the tin inside, so then it didn't
move.
Move. So and then you put the candle in. All right. So those are just some samples that I'll be working on. And these are really simple. I'm not going to go over the board with decorating because you really don't have to with these. I also added extra spices as always.
And can I ask you, do you feel that when you light the candle and you essentially are heating it to a degree, a little bit, does that kind of make it smell like the spices of the cookies?
I guess it does. I know what you mean. I guess it does. Everybody always compliments on those centerpieces. I would give it to people for Christmas, and they would always say, "Oh, every time I walk in the kitchen, I can smell it. It's so nice to have something like that." It's not huge. You can also make them bigger if you want to, go that route. But I don't usually make them too big. Now this,
that's a pretty blue.
This is denim blue. This is actually 2 blues. I created this by, I iced the cookie with darker sky blue and then lighter shade. And to blend it, I used my palette knife. Okay, so I just blended everything, and then it has to dry.
So the guy that wears those jeans is usually riding a horse, I think.
Whatever you say, darling, you are forgiven. So now the original design, it's done all in white. Okay, so I did also this one, but I thought little color never hurt anyone, so we're just wanted to do a slightly different design with this Eiffel Tower. So I'll show you how to decorate that.
Very nice.
The pattern. All right, so to do that, I have here my PME 1.5. Let's hope this is.
Hen, did you create a supply list? I think I saw you have your template. So did you put some?
I have the template. I don't have the supply list for the Eiffel Tower. No, I do have a supply list for my 3D snowflake tree, but not for the Eiffel Tower yet.
Okay.
So I will try to do that.
Check out the time that this is going to be published. She'll probably have time.
Yes, I think I will have time. Now, what I also did, this is a very first grade drawing that I did. What are you sipping there?
Well, I work in the basement, as you know.
Yeah, so
the
I mean,
basement is
it's
actually
not. It's not. It's not. It's not alcoholic beverage, is it?
no. I'm telling you, it's quite
Because it's
cold.
not even. It's like yeah. Okay.
So it's
This is
cold.
tea.
It's cold. It's hot tea. I'm cold.
Hot tea, yeah. Ginger tea,
No, it's just a herbal tea. It's just
herbal tea.
nothing. And so yes, I'm cold.
No, I'm sorry. Oh, so, you know what's good in tea? Rum.
Well, at 11:49, I'm not gonna have rum.
No, but it's very good if you ever, yes, a little rum, not a whole lot. Okay, so this is, you can use this template, you can draw it up so you can look at it to see where
Yes.
you're gonna start. So I'm going to actually first use my scribe to start making lines where we're going to pipe, okay? So I'm figuring this is going to be my first stop.
So
Okay.
if somebody struggles with
And
this,
already, yes. Well, this is a yes. Well,
could they
once you
use a
start writing,
ruler?
it'll be different. You can use a ruler. Yes, you can use a ruler, but I'm not too worried.
Yes,
So
I'm not saying for you. I'm saying, let's say a person that
you
maybe,
can use a ruler, or you can use a you could even use a
yeah,
paper,
yes.
a straight line. I should probably do that as well. I'm not. It's fine. It'll be fine. Okay. So this way you already have an idea. Okay, this is where the first. How many levels does Eiffel Tower have?
I mean, I'm no professional of the Eiffel Tower. Let me look.
I don't know. Well,
Have
anyway.
you ever visited?
No, just
Oh. I have.
you have, right?
Mm-hmm. Years ago. So I see it only has like 2 levels essentially.
So it is, yeah. So this is the first level, and then we'll do a second level, somewhere here. Okay. So once this is you have the levels, it's going to be easier to determine like where how to do the piping. And you could also create a little template that you could probably like a stencil kind of a thing, but I don't have that, so we will not be working with that. All right. So now I'm just going to okay. Now there is a line that goes straight across here. This is going to be divided into 3 and 2. And now same here, I'm going to divide this into 3. Now, if you wanted to make it even more, they have, what's the structure called? Do you know?
I have no idea what you're talking
No,
about.
okay, never mind. Okay. Okay, and here at the very top, there's a little triangle here. I'm gonna pull it up, and we're gonna end here. This section I'm gonna start in the middle here, so this is going to have 4 sections, okay? So that's how you can start, okay? Now I'm gonna be using, this is PME 105. Number 1 may be a little too much, if you are not, decorating too often, maybe a little too hard to work with, but 105 works really great.
So do you sift the icing before you make sift the powdered sugar before you make the icing?
I sifted about 3 times.
Really?
Well, not because of the PME, it's because of the sugar I have here in Spain.
Mm.
The sugar here, it's very
Temperamental.
yes, it's unpredictable. So I'm going to outline It really does smell beautiful, but I added so much spice in this. I actually tasted some cookies and it was very spicy. You can also add um, pepper and things like that. So I'm going to start with the level. So this is the first level. Now here you need to exercise control of pressure. So I'm going to release the pressure so I don't have those, at the end, you don't want to have blobs of icing. So you have to practice a little bit of control. If you haven't done any piping of straight lines, just practice on a piece of paper maybe, or wax paper first.
Well, you could print the template, like the of the Eiffel Tower, and pipe right on the paper, right?
Yes, exactly. You could also do that.
To get your bearings and then move on to the cookie.
Okay. So this is very repetitive. There are no swirls. So what did you think? Did you actually go up on the Eiffel Tower?
I did. I was a bit disappointed. There's a lot of hype for, so many places in the world, and you get there and you're like, whatever. It was
Yes.
like, it was fine. It was a long time ago at this point, so it's a faint memory, but was nothing like, I wasn't like, didn't change my life after. It was like, oh, whatever.
Oh, I made a mistake. That's never mind. I made a mistake. So let's see if we can fix it. So this is not supposed to be there.
Oh. Crisis averted.
So you can use your little scribe to...
The boo-boo stick.
Yes, a boo-boo stick. I really didn't do that on purpose, but...
It's got a perfect little shovel there to clean things up.
They do come in 2 different sizes. If I can find the pink one.
They're not sold by the same same company.
They're not.
No, they're not.
They're not. They have nowadays come up with the metal ones also, so that you can find different. It's called 2-in-1 tool or boo-boo stick.
I mean, they're like 80 cents.
Yes. They're worth every penny.
Yes.
So now I'm basically trying to use the movement to create the X's, right? I'm trying not to stop as much. I'm trying to, now I'm going to go this direction here.
Well, you're doing a lot of lines. They could do a more kind of simple, you can edit. No, I'm serious. Like edit, if let's say they were doing a lot of.
Well, you don't, you can just, yes, you can do simple, of course.
Like just an X instead of like, right? Instead of, because you're doing a lot of X's in the tiny squares, they could do like more of a big X.
Yes.
Or just like half it there, like what you have. Because every line obviously takes time, right?
Yes.
And Christmas, if you're trying to crank out sometimes hundreds, if not thousands of cookies.
Well, this is not this is definitely not a project for 100 cookies. Now you could do a template, and you could also airbrush. I believe that, do you think there are airbrush templates for the Eiffel Tower? I don't know.
I think you could probably, if you were to look up, you know what, I'd look up silk screen. Probably find that. Silk screen, Eiffel Tower. Let's see.
So I started in the middle, and then I'm dividing the half in by piping the line in the middle. That way I get somewhat equal distribution of these.
So yes, there is a stencil.
Okay, excellent. Now what you could also do, okay, take a marker and draw it. You could take a marker, you could even take yellow marker, draw it, and then dip it in sanding sugar. And the marker, because of the wetness, it's going to allow the sanding sugar to stick a little bit, and you'll have some nice detail there. Yes, exactly. You could also, yeah, paint it. You know, if that's your game, you don't have to pipe. But this is going to be a lovely gift for someone.
Well,
I don't really like. I don't really make. I wouldn't make 100 of these. That's definitely not what this is for.
I mean, the point. It's a labor of love, and it's for the craft, right?
Yes.
You have icing on your hand.
Oh, thank you.
I just found this as I was looking for the stencil here. I just put on the screen. You see, it's a very, very simplistic.
Oh yeah, exactly. So you could do a black marker.
Yeah.
Which would be done in 2 seconds. Well,
5 seconds.
5 seconds.
So easy.
Yes. And sometimes I have to say those designs, I actually do like them because we're trying to be so darn perfect, you know, with our piping. Sometimes those not so perfect are actually like I find them more like real, you
Yes.
know.
Yes. Not perfect is certainly more real.
Yes. You know what would be nice? Watercolor on this.
Mm.
If you do everything in white and then do the watercolor.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm imagining also a vine full of like leaves and roses on it.
Yes. Well, years ago I did lavender. I did
Oh,
lavender. Yes. But not on a. It was a smaller cookie. Not. I didn't have a. I didn't do that Eiffel Tower shape. It was a flag that I um, traced the Eiffel shower, Eiffel Tower on there with a template. Okay. Now again, I'm using PME 1.5 tip, which is a great tip to have.
you'll maybe get sticker shock when you see the price, but they're a specialty tool. They're manufactured differently than the, kind of cheaper piping tips, and they're so worth it. And you don't need to get 10 of them. Get maybe 2,
Yes.
so that you're not having to wash them out every time if you're working on a project.
Woo! Ta-da! So now this is you could after this take some sanding sugar and maybe do you want me to do? Should we do it?
Oh, I actually like it just like that because the sanding sugar actually makes your string work chubby, fat.
Yes. So we'll leave it like this. I'm gonna set this aside and I'm gonna quickly do a tree because this little tree is also part of the design that I'm going to create for this with the centerpiece. So to make the tree, oops, this is this little piece. So okay, excellent. So to decorate this one, I need to get a little water. I'll be 2 seconds. I forgot.
So guys, if ever you make cookies and you want to share them with us, we love to see your work. You can tag us on Instagram. You can use the hashtag cookie lunch break or tag our handles. Han is Hanielas, as you can see there on screen, or me, it's Montreal Confections. And yeah, we love to see your work and that you're doing it, that you're practicing, you've improved improving. Every cookie makes you a better decorator.
So I've got a paper towel here, and I'm just going to dampen my brush a little bit. Okay, I'm going to turn this way. And I've got here, this is stiff royal icing, and this is a piping tip number 3. Now I'm going to brush some of this icing inwards like this. And if you have excess icing on the brush, which I'm going to have like this, you wipe it off into a paper towel.
You don't lick the sugar off the paintbrush.
You want me to do it? No, I don't lick the sugar.
I saw an old video a little while ago of like old footage of an old Italian guy making fondant roses for a wedding cake, and he was licking the petals to assemble the flowers.
Was it like an instructional video?
It was one of like those videos where they film a bakery, you know, one of the corner bakeries, and they're like,
he was putting like when you're gluing the petals, he was,
he was licking them and putting the flowers together.
DNA never heard anyone, but
yeah,
I guess it was very, very pre-pandemic.
Well, I mean, not that long ago, it was kind of like I want to say like people would blow on their cake or on their cookies to remove excess dusts. Like when I say
now
dust,
I use this.
yes, I use my empty airbrush.
Yes. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. But you know, like things change. Yeah. Well, the thing is, a lot of times it's just people didn't know. You know. Not that he was trying to harm
anyone. You didn't know. Pretty sure he wouldn't want anybody licking his dessert. I mean, it's just because it was faster, I guess. It's pretty nasty. I don't think that even in like 1902 did anybody want the chef to be licking their plate before he served it to them.
What do you guys think about this? 1902, okay. Where did that number come from? No, I agree. It's pretty gross. It's pretty gross. I mean, and especially like if it's an instructional thing.
Well, no, it wasn't an instructional. It was like, you know, when they go into the bakeries and they show like on the news kind of a thing. Oh, look at this, you know, successful corner bakery. They do a lot of cakes and they show the people working, you know, like that.
Yes, okay, you gotta be, I mean, can't stop laughing now. Thanks for that. It's Friday, that's great. Okay. So if you haven't done brushed embroidery, don't be scared of it. To get some texture, it's better to use thicker icing than thinner icing. Now I'm just using, this is actually like jewel dust or
sparkles
or something like that. You can use sanding sugar. I'm doing it right after because thicker icing tends to crust a bit faster, but I think you'll be fine. If you work quickly, you'll be fine just waiting until you're done. But if you are...
Well, they don't need a lot of moisture to stick those.
They don't need a lot of moisture.
No. I think the biggest tip with regards to brush embroidery is to have a not soaked paintbrush, right?
Yes, not soaked paintbrush. And also, don't make the border too fine. Like it depends on the design you're looking for, because you see I'm brushing away some of the icing. So if you make the initial line too thin, then you won't have too much icing to brush away, and then it's kind of. But sometimes that's the look you're looking for. If you're looking on some of the cakes, I don't know if you see, some of the cakes you see it's very, very subtle. It's not bulky. So,
well, you need a certain degree of it. Yeah, I've actually done it with a petal tip. So yeah, so I'm pulling, but leaving like a wider section, of icing.
Okay. And this could be done on a number of different trees. This is a small tree here.
This to me is very like the vintage Christmas, you know, like
Yeah.
well, yeah, the white icing on gingerbread. It's like such a classic kind of old stuff, you know, like it's nice. It's very homey and like rustic is not I'm not using it as a negative. It's
No, I didn't take it as a negative. It's not, I didn't take it as a negative.
because there's so many, like Christmas is like there's so many different styles, right? Super modern.
So I'm going to add a little pearl on top.
Those are big.
So let me turn it. So there. So this is going to be in front of the Eiffel Tower. And here is this is the base. So this is the base that I created. Here is undecorated one. Now Now Eiffel Tower, as far as I look, like there is actual path or road or something like under it. So it's not motorized road. It's like only for pedestrians, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is underneath. So that's why I created this look. So what you want to do, you want to take your cookie, okay, and then you want to place it. You want to kind of see, okay, this is where it's going to go. This is where this is going to go. So you then with your scribe,
mm-hmm.
see with your scribe what you can do. I'm going to try to hold it somehow so you can see. You can take the scribe.
Mm-hmm. Give yourself reference.
Yes. That way, you know, okay, this is where I'm going to add.
I guess too, if you wanted now, because you have a lot of gingerbread exposed, you could write a little message.
You could also, yes, exactly. You could write a little message, for example.
Joyeux Noël in French for the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, okay.
That's Merry Christmas.
I will. Can you say it again? Merry Christmas.
Joyeux Noël.
Okay, so this is a challenge, guys. Please tell us how. I don't know. I mean, most of you probably speak English, but I would like to see like different Merry Christmas in different languages, or if you have family members who are maybe foreign or something, or friends.
Tell us Merry Christmas all over the world.
Write it in the comment section. I love seeing that. We say Vesele Vianoce.
Bless you.
Can you say it?
No.
Can you try?
Go again.
Please try. Vesele.
Vesele.
Vianoce.
Vianoce.
Very good. And now together. Vesele Vianoce.
Vesele Vianoce.
Oh, excellent. To you too. Vesele Vianoce. Okay, so now you would ice this with white. And then you have to let that dry. And once it dries, it looks like this, okay? Or this is semi-dry. Now you can leave it like this, or you could also add some sanding sugar to make it a bit more snowy, or even granulated sugar if you don't have sanding sugar will work. Now to prop this up, you need to use stiffer icing, okay? Now what you can do, I like to use these rubber liners. So you can have these on a tray, and you can have 5 or I don't know how many will fit on a tray you're using. You can have, and then use a little skewer or bamboo stick and prop it up. Oops,
your hand is kind of like
in a way, isn't it? Okay, let me show it from this angle. This angle is going to be better.
Yes.
And then you can prop it up just until it dries. You know, it's going to take maybe a couple of, I don't know. Oops. I mean, I don't have any icing underneath, so it's kind of sliding, but you get the idea. I'm not finished with the project yet, so that's why I'm not like doing it. Okay. Now, I know it looks complicated, but once you add,
Like a house of cards.
Yes, once you add thick icing, it's going to, you don't need to use two
Sticks.
sticks. You can also use, you can put this in, I don't want to mess it up. You can put this in front of it, like a little bottle to just make it stay upright.
Or have your kids hold it in position until it dries.
Yes, that is true. Now, another thing is if you make it thicker, if you let's say you were to glue two of these together.
Oh, yes.
Let's say you were to glue two of these together so you can see from both angles. This is going to be easier to prop it up. Okay. Another thing you could do is to glue this part, have a little piece to go along, right? And maybe glue it like that. I don't know. But I usually just glue it with thick royal icing and I prop it up in a couple hours, it's fine. And then I remove the sticks and overnight and it's good to go. And I haven't had, I've made these for years and I would move them, transport them in a car, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got 3 of them.
Royal icing is edible cement.
Yes. So I've got 3 of them and they are all a little different in terms of the color. This is the darkest blue. I've got light shade blue and I also have the white.
Beautiful.
So which one is your favorite? And I will have these up. I will put them together.
I kind of like the bear cookie one.
Yes. It just, the bear one, it's really nice. And it's going to look very nice with a tree. The tree is going to be in front of it and also a snowflake. So the snowflake I did with sanding sugar. What you can also do, I was also going to do this, like if we had the small snowflakes, we could embellish the tower with a little bit of, but then you are hiding some of the work. So that's not always ideal. Now to make it more Christmassy, this is more like a wintry theme, I guess now, but to make it more Christmassy, you can add a garland with maybe some lights to break up the white, or maybe you can use silver balls for the decoration.
Well, you could kind of, if you look at it, I mean, you could kind of decorate it as a Christmas tree. Like you put the star at the top, and
you could put a star. Yeah, that is true. You could put a star at the top, and then you could use these to make. You would obviously wait for the line work to dry, and then you can add a thick line with maybe black or royal icing, something that is not white so it doesn't interfere with the design underneath, and then add the
super
balls.
cute.
Or maybe green, maybe you can do green garland. Okay. All right, so that's from me.
Should we hold it up for the thumbnail? Here, hold up yours.
Okay, so I'll hold both.
Here, let me go like this.
Okay.
There we go. So, guys, we hope you enjoyed that. Some fun projects.
Oh, show me the head. It is a 2 bite size.
Yeah, they're
excellent. I like it. It seemed a little bigger.
No, they're just a good size.
They're so cute. I didn't realize they were that small. I like that.
So guys, we hope you enjoyed that. Thanks so much for joining us. Let us know what you thought of today's projects. And if you have any questions, just really tell us everything. We're your cookie therapists.
Yes. Have a good day, rest of the day, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.